Nicolas Cage once raked in $40 million a year. He now faces serious money and personal problems. Over the weekend, he was charged with domestic abuse and disturbing the peace, apparently after a fight with his wife. Here to talk about this are Dylan Howard, Star Magazine's senior executive editor, and Mark Haushalter. He is back with us. He's a criminal defense attorney. I want to ask Dylan first about what seems to be an escalating series of problems for our Mr. Cage. What's going on there?
Look, Dr. Drew, he returned to the set of his current project in New Orleans today, but he's facing 3 very serious criminal charges. Public drunkenness.
What did he do?
Well, he was involved in an altercation with his wife, his third wife, around about midnight, the early hours of Saturday morning.
In New Orleans, right?
In New Orleans at the French Quarter. He was noticed by some eyewitnesses as being involved in a confrontation with his wife, which actually escalated to the point where he tried to, according to eyewitnesses, drag her into a property he believed that they were renting. Of course, they weren't. It was somebody else's property.
Nice.
They were involved in an incident then with a taxi driver, and Nicolas Cage then was confronted by police. He goaded them and suggested that that if they wanted to arrest him, then they should. And of course, the New Orleans police, they obliged, and they did. And now he's facing public drunkenness, disturbing the peace, and also domestic violence charges.
There's some TMZ video right now. I guess he showed up in partway along the way in a tattoo parlor. That was part of the escapades of that evening. But rather, we sort of get the big picture here. My question is, he's now had very, very serious financial problems. We see something going on behaviorally here where he's now starting to have legal consequences. Does anybody know what's going on with poor Nicolas Cage?
Well, you know, just a month ago at a New Orleans restaurant, he was escorted home by police after something happened and a window ended up getting broken. So I think we're seeing the signs here of a career imploding. He was once a bankable star, as you mentioned at the top of the program, who was earning $40 million a year, and now he has mounting tax debts, and he's had homes foreclosed, some 6 or 7 homes foreclosed.
But what is that we're watching? For the average viewer at home, and for myself included, you look at that and you go, he made $40 million a year, he had all these assets, and he couldn't manage that, or did he squander it? I mean, what was that?
He says it was a former business advisor who he's currently embroiled in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit with. But he, on the other hand, the former advisor, says that he squandered the money and was frivolous with the money. But it's very interesting that clearly these incidents are being fueled by alcohol use.
Do you think that people expect... I don't know Nicolas Cage, you don't know Nicolas Cage, but are people worried about his alcohol use?
In Hollywood, absolutely.
Yeah.
People are very concerned. But he's gone from being a bankable star to no longer being a bankable star. His current films have been flops, and he's really gone away from the likes that won him an Academy Award. So there is genuine concern for him.
Mark, is he in big legal trouble, and what does he need to do? What would you do to defend him?
Well, I'll tell you, a few things pop out at me right away. Is one, if the police didn't want to arrest him initially, it sounds like he just failed the attitude test, and the police decided to arrest him.
That's exactly right.
And now,
you have a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Now we've got the media.
Is that a problem from a criminal
It
defense
seems
standpoint?
like it's a problem for him right now. But he failed the attitude test. If he was doing something such illegal conduct and he was battering his wife, why didn't the police act sooner? Why didn't the police immediately arrest him? And right now we're saying, oh, he kept pushing the police.
So he's got a defensible. And God knows, in New Orleans, people sometimes imbibe, and so he's got a defensible position. We have 10
absolutely
seconds.
has a defensible position. One, I don't think there's any marks.
Okay, last word, Dylan.
She doesn't want charges laid, but the cops will pursue them.